Okay, so this is the project we're going to do. This is our third project for our class. It's also going to be a little wet on wet. It's going to be dry, adding water, and we're going to also include some fun splatters. So this is a quick one. Having been notified our class has just been shortened, so let's get started. We're going to quickly do a jellyfish. So I looked up online, I printed this out since I don't really know about jellyfish. And we're going to do the Scyphozoa. Yeah, I probably butchered that one. Jellyfish. And we're going to be doing, I read about it a little bit. It has at least 3, sometimes 5, but 3 of the oral arms, a whole bunch of tentacles. This just is an example, but they're usually all swirling all over the place. And a bell shape that kind of loops, kind of goes like this with lines that are actually inside, created by the tentacles. So very quickly, I've decided I'm going to put a tiny bit of color in our wash so that you can see what I'm doing. I have slightly done an outline because this needs to be quick and I'm not sure how much time we're going to have. I'm wetting this edge to make sure the edge stays nice and wet. I'm going to make you can make a simple bell shape. I'm going to show you a little bit more complicated bell shape only because I can and I have the time. And I'm going to, as though this is water, you could also lightly color your water because it does make it a lot easier to see, doesn't it? And then if by chance you can leave a space for I didn't over there, but if you can leave a little space for where the lines go, I'm not sure what those lines are called, the veins, I'm not sure. Anyway, no, you know what, we're not going to do that because you guys don't have time to draw this out and we're just going to paint it. Then what we're going to do is we're going to drop some color in there. So I'm making a very, very weak pink. And then I'm going to go ahead and mix it in with some blue to make it a little purple. Just drop it in there. And see what it can do. Now I'm going to go ahead and let it drip to the edge so that we can get a nice crisp edge. Outline the edge and then look how it runs and outlines it for us. So we barely have to do anything. Now leaving it pretty light in areas is a good idea because most, you can't see that, can you? Most jellyfish, that's what they're called, are translucent. So I'm actually going to work mine upside down. I may want to add some more color in later or now. It is a little light, isn't it? So what if we put a few accent marks? And then what I want to do to accentuate the fact that it's round is I'm going to drop some water in the middle. I want you to see what that does. So this did turn out to be a little more blue than purple. But again, oh gosh, I just love how it travels. I love how the paint travels. So watch what that's doing as the paint mixes. I'm going to go ahead and pick this up over here a little bit so it's not too dark. There we go. It's kind of even on the bottom there. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to wash my brush, tap it, and I'm just going to add some drops. And it's going to help give it the illusion of being round while also adding some cool effects. And then before it can keep running into each other, we'll pick up the excess water and then maybe highlight, maybe I'll actually take a corner of a clean rag, it's stained, a corner of a clean rag and just mop it up. And that's going to help it look a little more round. Now the pink is pretty defined in here, so I'm going to go ahead, instead of covering up that pink, I'm going to add some pink. See that pink right there? That kind of is accentuated over the other colors now. And I'm also going to spread it out because it is much darker than the other colors. So that might come out pretty cool when it's done. You know, it's just going to keep changing as it dries. So let's go ahead and work on the oral arms. And what's really cool about that, now my paint has spread, I'm not even sure you can see my light color pink over here, but it ended up spreading, which isn't the best deal. Oh, and I was going to add a little, I forgot I was going to add a little green and make a teal color. Maybe I'll do that now. There we go. I don't want it all just pink and there we go. Oh, I actually really like that. Okay, so I don't know why the pink or why the green made everything run, but it did. Okay, so now I'm going to wet my brush and I'm going to get a little bit of light pink. Now just to make sure the pink's not too dark, it could be lighter, couldn't it? So I'm going to add more water. Check that color. That's better. Because I want to be able to see it, but I don't want it to stain the surface. So I think there's a hair in there. Hang on while yeah, there is. Huh. Well, there we go. Oh, that didn't affect it much. Now my teal is kind of looking like polka dots, and you know what? I don't think I care, but I do care that it's puddling. And now I've made bubbles. There we go. That's going to help a little bit. And then that'll just meld back in. Okay, so let's get our color. And what we're going to do is we're going to do ribbons. Now I remembered that I did some of these skinny guys along here and I wasn't really going, oh, you know what? We're going to do that. Okay, I'm sorry. This really is an emergency project because the one that I had planned and I'd already videotaped is way too long to be able to do and to have a fire drill. It just won't work. So, and we'll come back and do the underneath part. And to save time, if you'd rather not do the underneath part, you don't need to. Now, I don't know why I'm adding water, but I am. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, oh, no, I'm doing it wrong. Okay. I'm going to pick up some of this water. We don't need puddles, but we do need it to be wet. And I'm going to make sure it's evenly running. And then with our skinny brush, our little 2 that you were going to use on your watermelon one that's going to end up being next week instead, I'm going to make some purple. I have never been so messy with my paint. Okay, come on. Let's make purple. This blue is really vibrant. Okay. Well, wow, that is really purple. I mean, really blue. I mean, oh gosh, whatever. Okay, now what you're gonna do is you're gonna just do these ribbons. You're gonna do, I didn't get that very defined in there, did I? And what that's gonna do is it's going to make it, and then I'm gonna switch sides to make it look like it's a ribbon. Oh man, this paint is really running. And then, how about a little more pink? And we'll just let some, oh, that is not pink. And we'll let the pink I think my watery pink has mixed with my nice heavy pink. And I'm going to disperse this a little bit. And then, oh, we lost our wetness, didn't we? Oh, that might still work. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay. And then we're going to let it run to one side, let it run to the other side, and set it down. Ta-da. Okay, now let's do, oh, I'm gonna fill these in. They don't actually have holes in them, and that looks like it's eyelet or something. Yeah, well, who knows? God may have created eyelet fish. Okay, let's pick up our large brush again. I don't know why I'm getting it clean, because I do need some color. All right, let's make sure that's enough color. Oh, that's good. Okay, now I'm going to follow this one. I'm really hoping the pencil line doesn't show. But even if it does, that's okay. I don't know if you can see how much wetter this is, but you need it to be a little wet because you want the colors to mix in when you start doing those ribbons. So I'm going to make sure this is still wet, because when it dries, the paint just won't move. There we go. Okay, so what should we use now? I think a little more blue this time. Yeah, that's a good color. Okay, I'm going to go, because these are so close together, I'm going to go ahead and go on the outside. I'm going to switch. I'll fill in those little spots later. I'm switching like a ribbon. And I just went over the area that I was trying to avoid. And that's okay. Okay. I'm going to stay on this side so those two don't run into each other. It's not a big deal if they do. It's just that we're only doing 3. And if we let them model together, then they might get lost in each other when we start doing the other part. Okay, so I've noticed that the top of this, the person I saw do this did this so fast, and I'm just not that fast. Oh darn, I want more pink. That's not pink. This is pink. Okay. I think this calls for a whole lot more pink. Now, this is drying up over here. Well, it looked like it was. Maybe it's not. But look how cool that is, like a ribbon. When it switches sides. And then I'll try and blend that in so we can't tell that it actually dried up. Maybe add a little more pink in here, blend that in, and then, like we did on the other side, we'll let some of this run. And that's, there we go. See the dark coming in down here? That's going to help tie those together. And then hopefully, as it settles, I'm hoping to get some down. There we go, right here. I really like that. Okay, I'm going to let that sit because I think I'm going to add some it looks kind of plain over here. There we go. And tie that nice rich color in over here. Okay. I'm sure you guys get the hang of this and you can do this. Did you notice in the piece I showed you, a couple of them did have the ripples on both sides because when it's laid flat, it's rippling on both sides. Okay, let's go ahead and get some more color. Make sure it's not too dark. It's not too dark. And then let's go this way. Now this one's going to run into this, and that's okay. I hope you guys can see this because the way the lighting is, the shadows actually hide some of what I'm doing myself. Keep that wet. Okay, let's put that down. Maybe I will try and tie in some teal with this one. See what happens with this arch. This one I got from IKEA. It's up in the center. And so my beautiful color that I'm mixing just goes down to the side, which is not what I want. Ooh, there's the color I want. Of course, this is going to be only one that's teal. Oh well. Might have to tie some teal into the other ones, huh? But you know, when we do the tentacles, is that what they're called? When we do those, we'll be able to add more color and more teal. This one has already taken care of that I'm gonna I'm sorry, I'm not finishing my sentences. It's already left the hard edge, which is a real bummer for me, but not a big deal. Trying to get faster. Wee, 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 wee. Okay. Do, 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 do. Sorry, going the wrong way with my paintbrush. Do, 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 do. And now I can see my pencil line, which is bugging me. But not a big, big deal. And now that I've added some bright in there, I'm going to need to add some bright in here. And I'm also going to add a little more purple, if I can, in here to tie the two sides together. Let's see if I can make this. I actually see a pencil line, which actually, if it's on the outside, it's not going to be a big deal because that can be erased. Okay. As beautiful as the teal was, it's really not tying into the other tentacles unless I add some teal to them. So let's go ahead. I think these are supposed to be a lot thicker than I've made them. So sorry about that. But you can make yours thicker. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of green over here. And see if that helps tie those two in. There we go. That does help a little bit. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm making it up. Isn't that the fun of watercolor? And then I noticed just now that it got into here. So I'm going to see if I can actually incorporate it. So my quick painting is turning into a not so quick painting. So that's going to hopefully just kind of blend out, you know. I can also add some paint in later. See, because I've watered everything down, the purple is not very purple. So I'm going to end up adding some blue, which is okay, because I'm also going to mop it out. It's kind of cool looking, huh? So if I tie that in over here, it all works out. I actually like it, so. Actually, there are supposed to be lines right here, so maybe that will just help it out a little bit. And then I'll ease in the edges. Like so, let the water kind of do its thing, or I could get the whole thing wet again. Could also just drop in some water again. Okay, let's let that, let's wait and see. What is that gonna do? You know? calm down that blue a little. Really right now I'm just troubleshooting, not knowing what to do because it leaked in a way I wasn't really thrilled with. At the same time, this should be connecting in here. So now I'm going to add some color to both of these in hopes of tying them in to, that's not wet enough. There is a much simpler way to do a jellyfish, and I should have just left it at the underside, or not doing the underside. So in my rush to make sure we can get a good project completed, I didn't think about making it even more simple. And that has too much water on it. That's okay. Just barely touch these edges and woo-wee. It's gonna be fine. And now we're blending into the top. Oh my goodness. You know what? That's just the way it's gonna be. And we're gonna work it out because the top edge was already, it already has a nice line to it. And maybe this will appear more shadowed. I don't know. Really don't know some of these things until they dry. Now this is a puddle, so took care of that. And maybe took care of that. That's fine with me. Okay, so let's tie this in. We don't need a white spot there. Now the fun swirly part is going to be putting in, oh, I do like how that turned out, is going to be putting in the tentacles. So we're going to use our small brush. We're going to make a nice liquidy, I don't know. Boy, that's really pink, isn't it? Look at me always trying to fix things. So we can, you can use all different colors. You can make it crazy fun, whatever you want. Okay, so I'm going to use some teal over here. Let's get this blue in here. It's a little too green for me. And then really watery because these are a little more translucent. It's not watery enough. Okay, so now we're going to try and keep this movement going, starting from the outside. I did turn that in, but that's going to be okay. Sometimes I don't bother reconnecting those, and I probably shouldn't have because it loses its flow. There's hair flying all over the place. I think it's my cat's. Oh, darn, darn, darn. Let's see if I can pick that up. I did drop some water in the meantime, but I picked it up. Well, now why aren't you mopping up? There you go. Let's take it from down here and just try and be free-flowing with it. Yeah. After I told you don't really need to connect those, I went ahead and connected those. Okay. I think another teal, and then I'm going to add some other color. That was really thick, wasn't it? That's all right. Oh, I need some in here, don't I? Let's try. Sure, why not? That looks good. It's really tricky to keep a light hand and not lose control. So I'm one who always thinks they have to keep fixing it. Okay, alrighty. So now I have the other thing we were going to do, which this will clean up quite nicely. But the other thing we're going to do is we're going to put splatters on it. I just wasn't planning on doing it that soon. So I'm going to get a little more pink because I want some pink in here. And add quite a bit of water because I'd like it to be a light pink. It's going to tone down a little. And then I'm hoping it's really dry up here because, and if it leaks and bleeds, oh well, it leaks and bleeds, you know? Okay, so I want some from up here. Really shouldn't try and fix these, but I always do. And this one, because it's not going to meet, I'm going to take here, up here. There we go. And then this guy can, oh, you still disconnected it. Oh my goodness. I'm also feeling very pressured to get this right and not a lot of time to do it in. Okay, I'm going to really overdo it if I don't stop. Let's throw in a couple blue to mix it up. And just leave it like that. Okay, now we're going to take our big brush and I'm going to find a little bit more of the pink. I don't know that I have any pink left, and I'm going to splat. And now I'm going to get the blue, this gorgeous teal color. I don't know what that is. Bubbles? Maybe it's bubbles? And that just has more of a free form to it, you know? Not so serious, a little more playful. And I think that's great. I think we're gonna call that, I don't know, Jellyfish Whimsy. Sounds good to me. Okay, let's let that dry. And that's it, Jellyfish Whimsy. I hope you liked it.